Hey there, this is Luis Moreno. Today what I'm going to do is talk about the prescription drug coverage that is attached to a Medicare Advantage plan or a standalone prescription drug plan. I've got a few calls from some agents and they're still a little confused about how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down, how I break it down to the seniors when I'm sitting down with them and explaining how the prescription drug plan works. So we're going to start off here with the deductible. Now, on this portion right here, let's see if I can get this pen going. All right, right here. On this portion right here, the deductible. The insured pays 100% of the drug costs until your deductible is met, which can be anywhere from $0 to $415. So you got to know the plans in your area. Here in my area, there are deductibles to some plans. The deductibles apply to certain tiers. For example, in my area with one of the big major carriers, there is no deductible for tier 1 and tier 2. But then when you get into tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, there is a deductible. I've got another carrier where 1, 2, and 3, tiers 1, 2, and 3 have no deductible, but then 4 and 5 have a deductible. So this varies from plan to plan. So you've got to know your plans. Also, if you're in a dual plan, well, you don't have to worry about this. This is automatically a 0. So again, you got to study the plans in your area and become familiar with this deductible. Now that the deductible is set aside, we're going to get into the first portion of the prescription drug plan. What this portion is, it's the initial coverage period. And it is the area from here to here of this donut. And again, I didn't mention the donut. A lot of seniors are familiar with the coverage gap and or the donut hole. So this is a pretty good illustration that I've had that explains what this donut hole really means. So anyway, getting back to this initial coverage period, from here to here, the amount of money that is set aside to cover drugs is $3,820. Okay, now this is how I explain to seniors. Let's just say that you go get a prescription. And let's assume that that prescription costs $100. But it's a tier 1 prescription. So let's assume tier 1 is a $3 copay. So when the senior goes to the pharmacy, they're going to pay $3. The insurance carrier is going to pay $97. That's a total of $100. That entire $100 is removed from this $3,820. And as they're getting their medications, this amount keeps dwindling every single month. The good thing is that every month they're going to get a statement. And it's called the EOB, the Explanation of Benefits. And on that statement, it's going to let them know where they stand. Now, for seniors that aren't taking a lot of meds, and even for some that are, but they're taking generics, this is going to be okay. So there's enough money in there to cover it. But for those that do not have, or for those who do take some brand name medications, I ran into an individual recently who was taking 2 insulin flex pens. One was $900 a month. The other one was, I think, $1,600 a month. So what happens when you use this $3,800? Well, now you get into the donut hole, okay, the dreaded donut hole. Now what happens here is, first of all, the size of this hole, or the amount of money that it takes to fill this hole, is $5,100. That's what it's going to take. Okay, so they've got to fill this hole up with $5,100 of their money. Okay, so once they're in this hole, what's going to happen is they're going to pay 37% of the cost of the generic drugs. So that $100 medication that they were paying $3 for, now when they're in a donut hole, they're going to pay $37. Now, if it's a brand name medication, they'll pay 25%. And they're going to continue paying these percentages until they reach the 5,100. So your total out-of-pocket cost, you add the deductible and you add these percentages, when all that equals $5,100, that's when this hole will get full. And then you move out of this donut hole or the coverage gap. Then, assuming you've filled this up, you go and get into the next portion, which is from here on. This is called the catastrophic period. During this time period, what happens is they're going to pay $3.40 for generic drugs and $8.50 for brand names. And so what I just explained here is what happens to a senior who's taking a lot of medication or who's taking any medications, whether they're in a prescription drug plan by itself or a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, the good thing, and this is just kind of a tip. So when I explain this to seniors, they get a little uneasy. They're afraid. There is a tool on Medicare.gov that can help estimate, based on the prescriptions that you enter, it'll estimate when they're going to hit that donut hole. The other tip that I will give you is find out what their income is. See if you can qualify them for LIS, which is low income subsidy. This is a program with Social Security that will help them with their prescription drug coverage. And how it helps them is it helps them in one of two ways. Number one, it's going to get rid of the deductible. Number two, it's going to lower the copays. And then the biggest thing that it does, it removes the donut hole. And there's some statistics out there that I've read that out of every 4 seniors that qualify for LIS, only 1 is enrolled. So there's 3 of them out there out of every 4 that qualify for LIS, but aren't enrolled. So you've got a target-rich environment out there when you're talking to seniors. Explain to them that they may qualify. The qualifications for LIS are based on income and assets. But what I do is when I sit down with seniors, I explain to them that I could help them with this. I help enroll them if their assets and their income qualify. The application takes about 5 minutes. And once you've done it, the worst thing that can happen to a senior when you apply for LIS is they get denied. That's it. Nothing else can happen. The best thing is that you help them out. You enroll them. They get an award letter saying that they are going to be awarded LIS. And all this, the donut hole, the deductible, the copays is gone. And not completely gone, but the copays are at a completely different from what the copays say on the summary benefits. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a little bit of information on how to explain the prescription drug portion. Thank you.